and you wanted to know what those two functions would be equal to each other. We want to find the values for which one function is equal to another. Well, if we have the f function defined as x squared plus 1, and we have the g function defined as 3x minus x squared, then we set those two things equal to each other and solve for the x. Now again, we've got like terms, so I've got a negative x squared. I'm going to move it over here and make it positive with its like term, so that gives me two of those. I've got a 3x. I'm going to move it to the other side. No other x term over there, but it's not there anymore. And then I'm going to leave 1 on the left-hand side. When I've moved these two things and changed the signs and added the common like terms, that leaves me nothing on the right-hand side. But again, I've got a quadratic. I could either factor, if it will, or use quadratic formula. Again, the a is 2, so it's a little bit different. The leading coefficient there is 2. It's a little bit more difficult. But I go, the two things I have to multiply to 2x squared. It's got to be 2x and x. And then I need two things to multiply to positive 1, but yet add the negative 3 when I FOIL. So I'm going to guess that they're both negative. The only two things that multiply to 1 are positive 1 and positive 1, or negative 1, negative 1. Those are the only two short shots we got. And that middle term has to be negative, so I'm going to check this, but the check is the outside inside. Multiplying this, I get negative 2x. Multiplying the inner two products, inner two terms, I get negative 1. Well, negative 1 and negative 2 adds to negative 3, which is what I want. Now I've got it factored. I do what I did up here, and that is set those two pieces, those two factors, and one or the other or both have got to be 0. So I set them equal to 0, and then I solve for both. 2x is going to equal 0, 1, when I move that over there, and then x is going to equal 1/2. Solving for x here, I get x is equal to 1. And those are your two solutions for when those two functions are set together. Those are the things we talked about today, using function notation when those functions, and how to evaluate them, how to use that function notation, and to solve when the function is 0, and to solve when the f of x is equal to a g of x. You have two functions that are actually equal to each other. Those are some steps. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pre-Calc. This is the Ask Academy. It's